Welcome to the largest modern industrial estate of Southeast Asia, the Jababeka Industrial Estate, Cikarang. Our story begins in 1989 with the massive development of Cikarang, where once nobody could see its potential. Now, after 31 years, Jababeka has succeeded in developing a comprehensive one-stop industrial development solution for all types of enterprises. Today, it has become one of the most important economic zones of Indonesia. Jababeka constitutes a massive 35% of total national export volume, creating employment opportunities for around 700,000 local residents and 10,000 expatriates who live in the city. Jababeka Industrial Estate is trusted by more than 2,000 national and multinational companies from 30 countries around the globe. It is one of the most advanced industrial zones with state-of-the-art facilities and all the essentials that make industrial business possible. It has a very efficient access and transportation infrastructure that includes 4 exit and 4 access tolls, highlighting the transit-oriented development. Jababeka Industrial Estate is equipped with Industry 4.0 facilities and tools. It has fiber optics and telecommunication networks that boost the performance of the whole industrial estate. The licensing and administration process is also made convenient with one-stop digital services like our mobile app, G-Smart. Designed as an environment-friendly industrial area, it has proper waste treatment facilities that help us conserve the environment and water treatment facilities that ensure a reliable and regular clean water supply for industrial needs, helping us avoid the need for exploiting natural water resources. Independent power plants in the Jababeka Industrial Estate guarantee the availability of continuous electricity supply. Jababeka Industrial Estate is proud of building the nation's first dry port, the Cikarang Dry Port, which has all the logistical facilities required for the complex import-export processes. Jababeka Industrial Estate is extremely secure. It has 24-hour security patrols, a fire brigade department and regional police, and army offices located within the premise of the estate. We always strive for both business and individual development. The prestigious President University and Information Communication Technology are the symbols of human development. They add value by providing qualified human resources needed for the industrial world in the Jababeka Industrial Estate. Jababeka Industrial Estate provides an ideal atmosphere and working environment for a modern industrial community that consists of commercial and retail centers, hotel, residential, healthcare facilities, and various sports facilities such as golf, swimming pools, eco-parks, etc. All of these facilities ensure the smooth running of business in the Jababeka Industrial Estate, the largest and smartest industrial estate in Southeast Asia.
Selamat siang, Bapak-Bapak, Ibu semua. Selamat datang kembali di Jababeka Industrial Talk Show pada hari ini. Kembali kita akan berbincang-bincang, kita akan berdiskusi mengenai beberapa topik yang menarik. Tapi siang ini kita mendapatkan topik yang sangat menarik, yaitu bagaimana implementing digital innovation for logistics management. Jadi pada hari ini kita mendapat tamu speakers yang cukup kompeten di bidangnya. We are welcoming to Mr. Said Badrul Nahar, Head of IT PT DSL Supply Chain Indonesia. Welcome, Pak Said. Selamat siang, good afternoon. How are you?
Selamat siang, good afternoon, Pak Rudy. I'm good, thank you. Hope you're fine also.
Thank you, Pak. Salam sehat dan bahagia selalu, Pak Said.
Salam sehat.
We're welcoming to Mr. David about Head of Business Development and Investment, Logo C. Okay, good afternoon, Mr. David. How are you?
Rudy, how are you? I'm very good, thank you.
Thank you for welcome. Become our speakers, Mr. David. Okay, the next is Pak Imam Wahyudi, General Manager of Commercial Cikarang Dry Port. Good afternoon, Pak Imam. How are you?
Good afternoon, Pak Rudy. We are great, and we hope we are healthy always, Pak. All of you also.
Yeah,
Thank you, Pak Rudi.
Thank you for support us. Okay, this afternoon, maybe we both all of us know about this current situation after the pandemic. So maybe sometime I might have a joke with my colleagues. Hey, this is already 1 year before last time the pandemic is starting. But of course, we must still doing the business. We must survive. We must still optimism for this today and the future. And we believe this year 2021 is a rebound of our business. But the interesting part is the situation now changed. Before the pandemic is maybe sometimes we see maybe conventional business, but now become the digital, like us today. We're doing the Zoom meeting, we're doing the Zoom webinar. So today, audience, we will discussing about the current situation, how to implementing digital innovation for logistic management. Oke, kita persilakan first Mr. Said Badrul Nahar, Head of IT PT DSL Supply Chain Indonesia. Please, Pak Said. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Rudi. Can I share my screen?
Yes, yeah. Please, Pak.
Okay. Okay, I'll try to brief what we are doing in the DHL, and like what Pak Rudi mentions just now, that digitalization is running more faster. We accelerate digitalizations even in this pandemic situations. So this documents actually is a general overview, directions of the DHL, how we accelerate the digitalizations. And also some of the technology here, we are open for partnership with the others. Okay. Let me go through. Okay. What is the digitalizations mean for us? Actually, digitalizations is how we are going to implement or use technology to support our core business and modernize our IT infrastructures. At the end, we want to enhance our customer experience, the employee experience, and also increase the operational efficiency, improve the productivity itself. That's the aim of the digitalizations that we run in the DHL. In our strategy, we put the digitalizations as the part of the On Tomorrow strategy. We are looking not only what we need at the moment or at current state, but we also looking at the future state, where we are going to be and how the digital supply chains looks like. We want to have that in our organizations. We already defined the clear path to be there, to become the digitalized supply chains in all of the aspect in our organizations. How we implement this, a lot of technology to adopt in our organizations. We split into 3 phases. The first phase, we call it the innovations. We gather ideas coming from the internal, external, looking at the business, looking at the technology trends, and so on. And then we productizations those technology, do piloting in the operations, ensure that all the support after the technology is already implemented. We ensure the stability of the technology itself. And last, we implement this rapidly in the organizations. We are using a sprint approach for the implementations. Next is we can see a lot of trend in the market, what kind of technology that can be implemented in the organizations. We see the impact. There is some have the low impact, some has the high impact, and also there is the factor to see the maturity of the technology itself. We measure that, and then we put in our pipeline for the implementations. Next is about the use case, what we are using in the organizations at the moment. Some already implemented in the other regions, and some is already implemented even in Indonesia itself. We already have some technology implemented. This is the assisted picking, the robots that help the picker, guide the picker to go for picking, that will assist picker to make it the to improve the picking productivity itself. This is already implemented in the US, and now we already copying this in most of the countries to adopt this technology. Next one is the RPA, robotic process automations. Actually, we are looking this very massively. Even in Indonesia last year, we already implement this to reduce administrative tasks in the operations and also the back office functions. We got a lot of benefit from the implementation itself, and I think we will have this more and more in the futures. This one is about the hands-free picking. So we have the ring scanner, because we see that using the conventional RF can still we can still have a lot of improvement productivity by implement this kind of technology. Next one is the Good2Man. We already implement this. We know that this kind of technology is already massively using in the e-commerce side, and also we are looking this in our SL spare part logistic industry. A lot of technology, a lot of robots that implement in the operations need orchestrations of those robots that's coming from the multiple vendors, the various vendors. In the DHL, we implement the robotic hub. This is like a layer that can integrate by multiple robotics vendors. So they have their own platform. In the DHL, we have our own platform on the right side. So in the middle, we develop the robotic hub. This is some kind like a general integrations from the vendor platform to the DHL platform. With this technology, we can speed up of the robotics implementations in the operations, and also we can do orchestrations from the multiple robots that working in the warehouse. During the implementations, we are looking not only from the technology aspect, we also looking at the change management. We develop the self-awareness and also the empowering of our employees, because now we go to the digitalizations. The way we work will not be the same like previous. We need to work, collaborate with multiple tools, automatic tools in the operations to ensure that we can sustain the momentum during the implementations. So I think this is the wrap up. The digitalizations in logistics is happening now. It's not only it's not about the futures anymore. We can see how this technology already disrupted on the media, and then next ongoing is already been done on the telecom, insurance, banking, retail, automotive, and now it's on the logistics. So we should be ready. And in the DHL, we know that we should adopt these digitalizations more faster, much more technology in our organizations. That's why we already have the strategy how to do the digitalizations in our organizations. The things that we are looking very detailed at the moment is about how to digitalize our physical operations and put into the digital, doing the data analytics more faster, and we can get the directions how to improve the productivity of the operations more and more. Okay, that's all from me, Pak Rudy. Thank you very much. Maybe we can continue later on during the discussions. Thank you, Pak Rudy.
Thank you, Pak Said. Wow, very interesting, yeah. Like we both know that I think the logistics business already implement for the digitalization part idea. So because last time maybe we use manpower, now robotic already in the logistic warehouse, and maybe I think we the future, well the future, yeah, maybe the next year or 2 years will become the robotic and automation everywhere. Okay, interesting, Mas Said. Okay, the next is Mr. David Abal. We will see from Logos business their experience about this digitalization in logistics business. Maybe please, Mr. David.
Yeah, thanks, Rudy. Look, yeah, it's very interesting what DHL have showed us just now, and it's not surprising. Obviously, Logos, we're developers and owners of industrial logistics warehouses. We've got a business footprint from India to Korea down to Australia and Southeast Asia. What we're certainly finding out and experiencing in the market is 10 years ago, we could take the attitude, look, I'm going to build you a warehouse. What you do in that warehouse is your problem, nothing to do with us. Those days have gone. Over the last 5 years, Logos has been involved in building automation systems for in Australia for Asahi, automation systems involving very high specification in our warehouses. I did some quick checks before we got on here. Nearly 30% of all RFPs Logos have received in the last 12 months have involved an end user looking for us to build a warehouse that includes some form of automation. And that automation is just, it's a sheer flow on from what Pak Said was saying, you know, it's required. And as a developer, we can't ignore it. So we're seeing that, yeah, the building formats will change. Automation will require a much higher degree of specification in the base build, as you know. But also what we've done to react to that is we've now developed funding mechanisms so that we can fund automation systems. And often the automation systems cost more than the land and the building. So it's you know, those depending on how detailed they are, of course. Now, what that means and what that will mean going forward, and you know, it's a sort of thing. There's a million answers to it, but it will change in many ways the fundamental way leases are structured. You know, the old idea that I lease to you a square meter of concrete, and as a logistics end user, you make money by stacking stuff on that, doesn't apply anymore. The pricing mechanisms that we're all used to are going to slowly change. We are going to have to adapt the way we think so that because we're putting in a lot more capital and we're now going to have to really work hard with the client, you know, which often is an end user or a 3PL like DHL. They're going to be partners with us. And we're going to have to develop a building and put in automation systems which suit their needs. And there'll be pricing and lease structure changes which need to reflect the risk and the capital that we're all putting in. But the other thing is, there's going to be an increasing speed of change is the word that gets thrown around. I mean, whatever Parkside's talking about now, I'm sure you'll agree, in 5 years' time, there'll be a new technology. There'll be a new system in place. There'll be something happening. So we just have to, and I don't actually know the answer. I don't know the exact answer, but all I know is, you know, hold on to your chair, stand by, it's going to change. We've made the strategic decision that we're very much not going to be caught flat-footed. We're not saying, well, we're just building normal warehouses, take it or leave it, because people will leave it. They're not going to take it up. We need to be at the forefront of this. We get it. Technology, like for instance, the ASRS system we built for Asahi, what's driving it is different in different markets. And to take up your point about COVID-19, when we built the Asahi facility in Australia, it was straight return on investment for labor costs because Australian workers cost more. So ASRS made systems made sense. We're getting RFPs now in India, in Indonesia, and in Malaysia, where there are different drivers to the investment case. And one of the biggest ones, a 3PL guy actually said to me, he said, look, before COVID-19 came along, I'd never considered the fact that all of a sudden I could have no workers. But, you know, the good thing about automation is it doesn't catch the flu. So basically, you know, that business security element is now weighing very heavily on the minds of end users. They've experienced the fact that an occurrence like a global pandemic has all of a sudden meant their workers are now no longer available, and they need to find another way to do business. And automation provides that solution. It may not be 100%, but they need that backup. The other thing which is driving change is the digitization that Parkside was talking about. We've found an enormous increase in e-commerce facilities. As some of you would know, we have facilities in Jakarta, which have automation, we have e-com guys in them, and their volumes are going through the roof. Some of them in particular, and it's been driven by, you know, the social change that people are now sitting at home and shopping from home. So it is an exciting time. We certainly embrace the movement, and I think it'll be very interesting as we go forward to see how we have to change the way we price, structure, and deliver buildings into the market. But it'll be very interesting to see how it works. That's it for me. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. The interesting now, we have a special guest from Cikarang Airport, Mr. David and Pak Said. Because we will see the different side.
Yeah, sure.
From the logistic from Cikarang Airport as an operator for the logistic. Okay, we heard from Pak Imam. Please, Pak Imam.
Okay, thank you, Pak Rudi. I will share about maybe just a small case, compared with Logos, compared with DSL. Yeah, just small dotted from the whole logistic, only small, but we try to make it, this is an interesting improvement from our side, which is the customer can enjoy the benefit, how to use our facility in Cikarang Airport or starting the terminal, also later on for the warehouse, also the domestic arrangement of distribution using this Cikarang Airport hub. I will share our presentation. Okay, actually, second. Already my picture of our presentation, Pak Rudi?
Okay, Pak, we see. Okay.
Okay, this we sharing our journey on our experience during last maybe 10 years. Starting we opening as the operation facilities in Cikarang Airport with only one container. Until now, we have more than 1,000 a week, maybe 10,000 a month. This is our current situation starting zero. Actually, you know that the previous process in Cikarang Depot also the same in Jakarta. Is we using paper, we using different. Or is it the place is a different custom in other place, a different place like in Jakarta, custom inside of seaport and quarantine outside of the seaport. We're starting with the integrated the system or integrated the facility in one area, and then what's next? What is our improvement to make it all digitalized? We're starting with our system like this. We start with our smart port vision. Actually, this is our first like blueprint that this is the future of terminal, the future of logistic facility. We link it entire port ecosystem like custom, is like a job government agent, a bank, a quarantine, also the seaport operator, and in the future it will be connect on industry. We start with MyCDB actually. We already have a connect with the shipping line, which is more than 70% carrier who serve their service to Cikarang Depot using electronic DO. So this easy to customer, no need to bring the paper or something, just they pay by system to carrier and get the electronic DO, and also connected after get the electronic DO and connect to our system easily, and then we can do the custom clearance in a minute actually. That's what we are planning right now. And also we are starting in 2017. See our development step. We start with automatic gate, and after that truck membership, all tracking inside of CDP must be recorded in our system. And then container assigning means custom house broker can assign the job to the tracking that already member it at Cikarang Depot. And then 2019 we starting with the TPS and also electronic DO, make it more and more easy. Luckily after that in 2020 with our application MyCDP, we started only 20% customer that using this application. Then after get COVID starting in 2020, now becoming 70% already using our application. So with this pandemic, make our application get more use in our facility. It's positive and negative way. Negative way, was it with the current situation on pandemic, and the positive way, the process for the using our application is faster than our expectation. This is the experience of, with the customer who using us as a SmartPort and also MyCDP. In the first step that we starting customer, we download the application, can assign custom broker easily. They can doing in everywhere as long as they can reach the network. So they can assign or maybe give a job for pick up the container and deliver to their factory or the warehouse anytime, everywhere, anywhere, as long as connect to the network. We have three applications, actually one under Android, secondly on the iOS, and also the people or maybe the team inside of the factory can do by web-based. So I think we provide with three type of the application. So currently they can do anytime, anywhere. Basically, compared with the previous one, that the process custom clearance or maybe get SP2 or maybe the documentation only up to Saturday morning. Currently, they can do from 24/7 as long as they connect to the network and they already have application MyCDB in their system. That's we give or we provide to our customer to make it easy and convince to doing business in our logistic facilities. Also, the last year we starting with online payment, make it them easy to do transaction during day, night, or in a day or maybe in the night. Anytime they can do and pay, just doing our pay using our application. This is the flow, the normal preparation, and this is the things that we give to the customer. Point that we can improve or give by the system. So no need to check by phone or something. Just put this information or the container, and they can see the flow after shipment starting from Cikarang drive up. They get out and deliver to their factory or their warehouse. Okay, the simple one is the benefit of smart port or MyCDB implementation in our port is, of course, with the reduced cost and reduced process time, which is with the linked by system. No need to contact one another to get information. Also, paperless for no need to. In the end, we will no need to showing paper because currently still we need one paper for get out from the CY, but in maybe second semester we will not using paper at all. I think it's depend on the approval on the custom to make it all aligned and also approval for this process actually. Cashless, of course, previously they use cash for payment in our locat or our team in the Cikarang Drive, and now they can use transfer payment anytime. They as long as they know and get the information, the certain amount from our system and the invoice on our system, and then they just pay based on system, our system. Of course, in this condition with the COVID-19, we minimize more human interaction. This system support for this condition. So we minimize one-on-one connection or interaction in our facility. So we hope we can reduce also for the spreading of COVID-19 in our facilities. Okay, this is the end of our presentation. What with our digitalization, our logistic facility, we are offering the efficiency, convenience, and reliability. Because with this application, our customer can cut time, maybe reduce the people who are going up and down from factory to our facility. Convince means that they can do doing the process for the custom clearance or maybe delivery anytime, anywhere, just on their fingertips. Reliability with the information timely and precisely. They can they get the information so reliable compared to the previous activity that they must contact the driver, they must contact to the terminal operator, they must contact to another parties to get information for their custom process. I think that's all for me. If I'll be back to Pak Rudy for if any question or something or concern regarding the digitalization on Cikarang Airport so far. Thank you, Pak Rudy.
Okay, thank you, Pak Imam. Maybe we can discussion. Yeah, I have a question actually, but maybe we starting from Pak Said, then Mr. David, after that Pak Imam. What is the effect from the new regulation of the government for the free tax of automotive business? Is this impact for the logistic business or something else? Please, Pak Said, maybe you can share about the new regulation from the government. Please, Pak.
Yeah, of course, it's impact on the logistics side. On the business, they have impact also. I think Pak David have more understanding on it, how it's impact on the logistics side actually. Pak Rudy.
Okay. Please, Pak David.
Yeah, I'm actually caught a little out. The legislation is, I'm not totally sure of the changes in legislation in Indonesia. I believe you're talking about the ones that to do with labor costs. Is that the one?
Okay. Because if we see in the news that some of the automotive players have increased the sales, the effect of the new regulation of the Indonesia government for free tax. Yeah, we hope the next will be back to the logistic business and more incentive that we can this year become more better than the last year. Maybe Pak Imam have some sharing regarding the free tax of the government for automotive business.
Actually, the first is for industrial. I think, but industrial estate it will be increased because for the logistic it will be maybe years after everybody or maybe the investor invest on your area actually, and then after that it will be impact for our load on logistic actually. But the first they will see the how the free tax it will be impacted for the investment in maybe Indonesia, not only in Jakarta. Then after that, logistics will be impacted, but either for the develop for the industrial estate itself, also or factory, or after that the finished product for the export or something. That's what in my opinion. But for a direct after a regulation role, I think not directly will be impact to the logistic area actually. That's my opinion, Pak Rudy.
Okay, thank you, Pak Imam. Okay, back to our topic today. Maybe you, Pak Said, Mr. David, and Pak Imam can share what is the challenge here. Change from the previous business like conventional to digitalization.
Okay.
Because like you, maybe we all know, the time is too short. Suddenly we must change.
Yeah.
Okay, this is very interesting. Maybe please, Pak Said, tell about. Oh, Mr. David first. Okay, please.
Yeah, if I can jump in, I think that's the topic. To be honest, I mean we all know digitization is here. Therefore, it's going to increase the automation that is provided in warehouses, right? But we're all in business. Everybody here is in a business, right? So somewhere, someone is sitting saying, okay, how do I fund this automation? How do I price it? How do I have it in my building, right? How do I depreciate it? How much money do I need to spend? And what is the return on that investment? And then, of course, the next thing is, what is the risk involved in that? You know, is this money I'm going to spend on automation going to get me a system that will be out of date in 5 or 10 years' time? So there's all these questions, and actually nobody on this call and perhaps in the audience really knows the answer to this because things are changing so quickly. But what it's going to do, I tell you now, is and we don't have the answers. We just know it's going to change pricing structures. I mean, we've all been very settled here. Everybody knows, you know, the standard warehouse, you know, 7 pallets high, basically a square meter of concrete. We know how to price that because the logistic guys know their pricing. They know what their storage costs are. And we all pretty much know what the cost of a square meter of concrete to lease it out, you know, is and what the businesses can afford. Once you've got an automation system and you're putting in higher specifications, you've got a great increase, a great deal of increase in the throughput. You've got less manpower involved. All of a sudden, all of the standard metrics that everyone uses to make the pricing decisions have gone. So we're all going to be working it out. And with any new system, it's what happens with technology, right? I mean, we all paid a lot for laptops 20 years ago. They're now cheap. We all paid a lot for mobile phones a while ago. They're all cheap.
Yeah.
Now, automation comes in, as it becomes frequent, the pricing mechanisms will change. So, you know, Logos doesn't have the answers either. We're sort of exploring like everyone else. But what it will mean is that we're going to have to sit down with, well, in Indonesia, you know, in DHL, we're probably with Pak Prithu or someone like that and say, okay, how's this going to work, and work out what the costing is and what, you know, how much.
Yeah.
If we do the investment and not you, how long are you going to be our tenant? How much is it going to cost? How are we going to get our money back? But as I said before, we've taken the first step is we now have funding that is prepared to look at automation, and I think that's the first step. Of course, in the old days, the institutional investors didn't want to invest in machinery at all, and if they did, they wanted to depreciate it out over. So do a 10-year lease, and then we'll just depreciate it out, and then it's worth nothing. When you're building an ASRS system, which you've got like you know, just say $20 million worth of building and $30 million worth of automation, I can't give you an economic model which tells you that in 10 years' time, $30 million is gone. It's not gone, all right? The automation has to reflect a commercial opportunity and a commercial process that the end user, that is a 3PL guy, makes money from. And he has to price that activity, and we have to obviously then price the automation that underpins that activity. So it's all going to change. I think we're all sitting here, you know, the valuers and the bankers, so with all due respect to any valuers and bankers out there, will have a lot of trouble grappling with this because they're going to be trying to assess risk and cost, and they're going to, as valuers do, and I'm a qualified valuer, so they'll try and use old systems. They'll say, okay, you know, what are the old valuation mechanisms? And they don't work anymore because you can't look backwards because there is no evidence from last time. You know, you can't say, okay, what, you know, I can tell you the price of land by looking at what similar prices of land sold a year ago. So I can say, okay, that's the value of the land now. How you value a system that hasn't been done before is going to be very interesting. People are going to have to work out, as I said, go back to the economic fundamentals that underpin it, and then price it. So the pricing will be quite a challenge. And we're all going to have to work. People are going to have to sort of open their books a bit and say, okay, well, these are my figures, and okay, these are my figures, and this is the return I need. And so it'll be a little more collaborative process, I think, and probably a good thing.
Okay. Maybe from Pak Said.
Yeah, because in the technology is always interesting to discuss. Yeah, especially is the new technology that we still exploring on the value delivered by the technology itself. That's one thing. That's what David mentioned just now. In DHL, we try to articulate this technology not only looking at the cost, but we also articulate that by the showing the productivity improve, and also the efficiency that we can gather from this technology that we adopt. It's a good thing is we have 3 phases during this new technology implementations. The first phase is innovations. On this phase, yes, we're still exploring the new technology, and then we see what is the impact, how we adopt this technology in the organizations and so on. But during the second phase, the productizations, we already see the value of the technology itself, and we can measure by this cost of the investment. We can get this cost saving from the implementation itself. So we already make the standard catalog during the second phase. We see that a lot of benefit that we can deliver to the operations and the business by adopting this new technology. Of course, if this new technology still new, it's still considered expensive in the in house there. Especially if this technology is not common in Indonesia, because when we bring the technology in Indonesia, there is a tax and so on that we need to pay. Yeah, that's something we can discuss during the implementation itself. That's the first issue that we have. A second is about the self-awareness and develop the labor skill to adopt this new technology, because we need to improve the knowledge skills of the labor itself, because normally they are using conventional, and now they must collaborate with the automation things, especially like robotic functions. How we leverage this technology across the organizations. Last 2 years, we already sent a lot of IT teams from Indonesia to support the projects in the overseas, like in Korea, Japan, Malaysia, and some other countries. What we see during this support to the overseas is our IT teams, they can also have the experience on working with this new technology, and then they have a very handful skill using those technology during this project implementations. That's why we can adopt that technology to Indonesia more faster, and we can speed up the implementations itself. Yeah, I think that's 2 things. What I see.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pak Said. Maybe there is a challenge here for the transform from the conventional to digitalization. Okay, we heard from Pak Imam.
Okay. Yeah, actually, the challenge already mentioned by Pak David, also Pak Said, about that one. For us, is how to make it, maybe inviting them to using our application or change from the manual to digital. That's our another challenge. Aside of the cost, of course, we are not talking about the cost, because, yeah, of course, for the implementation for digitalization, it will be take a cost from every company. But in my opinion, is how our customer using the application, or maybe the transformation from the manual to the digital. Currently, like I shared before, that our first year, only 20 or until 30% who are using our application, or using or move from the manual things, change to the digital, or maybe the automatic using our application. And then starting 2020, we and they starting on the end of the year, it becomes 70%. I think it takes time to make it the change from the manual to digital. The first is the people maybe in the staff level, the rejection for using digital, because blah 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 something change from the current experience or current implementation in the in the field. So in the beginning, there's rejecting for the the changes or maybe the improvement in our system or in our facility. And then after that, with the limitation of the movement or something, they starting to try use the digital things instead of the manual things. That's maybe simple idea in our local CDP area actually. I think that's our idea, Pak Rudi, our share.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Imam. Wow. Very interesting and very inspired for we're talking about, like Pak Said said, we're talking about technology, we're talking about digitalization, is more time to discuss it. maybe we must spend another time. Okay, Pak David, maybe you can share.
Yeah, I think one of the, and what you're talking about, Pak Iman, is true, but I think one of the issues we'll see, and it'll be very interesting to see how it works out, is people are resistant to change. So when you're gonna say, okay, we're going to bring in this great new system, people listening to this webinar, maybe even people on this call, some of us, and I'm one, we're going to have to write an investment paper and we're going to have to take it to our board, our boss or whatever and say, okay, spend all this money doing this. And the problem is, they'll say, well, does it work? Do you get, how do you know this works? How do you know it's effective? Yeah. There's a risk issue with anything new, and that'll be an interesting management exercise as it goes out. But I think what's happening is things like the pandemic have forced the process of this change. Okay, we know eventually we're going to have to automate, but then it was never that important. We didn't have to do it. Then along comes COVID-19, and I had 1,000 workers last week. Now I've got 1,000 workers who are in lockdown and they're at home. I don't have 1,000 workers. So you have a crisis, and from that crisis, people go, okay, we've got to drag out that plan about automation and we've got to get it going now, because now we have a different priority. We've realized that we've been forced into it. And I think this is one of the things that's happened. And of course, the other thing that will force management to do it will be the competitors do it. It's the old story. If they find that their pricing, the 3PL guys, their pricing is coming under pressure because some other guy down the road has embraced automation and they're doing things faster or more efficient or cheaper. And remember, one of the things with automation is not just cheaper. One of the issues, particularly in the e-com world, is accuracy. To make sure that when your wife orders size 37 shoes, she gets size 37 shoes, not because the guy picked the wrong size. So that accuracy thing is really tracked. The e-com guys will tell you what it is. They all have their KPIs that they want to get to. And they're going to be under pressure to have the speed of the order being dispatched, but the accuracy are the metrics by which they'll measure it. And so they'll be under pressure to look at systems that deliver that. And that's where automation will also come into play. So, and then of course it comes back to the problem I was talking, where we have to sit down, okay, who provides the automation, who prices it, how do you price it? But that'll be the driver. It's the push to change. When it gets to the situation where, okay, they have to say, all right, I think we've got no choice, we're going to have to change something. If nothing ever changes, everyone's happy to keep it the way it always has. We're human beings like things to be the same. We don't like to take risks, but they'll take the risk when they have to, and businesses will react.
Thank you, Pak David. Maybe this is very interesting, but we have a limited time. Maybe for the closing, I think we have a question and answer question. Okay. Maybe the audience can direct. If you have a question, please direct to Mr. David from Logos, Pak Said from DSL, and Pak Imam from Chandra. Maybe you have closing remarks from Pak Said first about this topic today.
I think this COVID-19 pandemic is telling us that the digitalizations need to drive more faster. We need to accelerate the digitalizations even faster from what we think before. And in the DHL, we use this momentum actually not only to running the business as usual, but we think we are doing a lot of things differently at the moment, and we see a lot of advantage by implementing these digitalizations in the organizations. Yeah, I think all business also can see that benefit also. Thank you, Pak Rudi.
Okay, thank you, Pak Said. Maybe from Pak David, have your closing remarks?
Yeah, no, I'm closing remarks. I think, yeah, just same as pretty much what I said before. I think it's going to be very interesting. It will change the tenant-landlord relationship and the pricing models, and hopefully for the mutual benefit of all. And it'll take a while for us all to work out what the pricing is, for these various automotive components, how to price them.
Okay.
Period of trial and error.
Okay, thank you, David. The last, Pak Imam, please.
Okay. I think only simple from our side that with this current situation, we can maximize what we have now, like a digital plot for everything. Especially we are in Cikarang Dryport. Please, the customer, we bring your experience to use the digital platform in our CDP, make your job or your work is easy and comfortable for you. That's actually the one that we're offering for CDP to our customer. Thank you, Pak Rudi.
Okay, thank you, Pak Said, Pak David, and Pak Imam. We are very happy to meet today. Very highly appreciate for Pak Said, Pak David, and Pak Imam. Maybe we can make another topic next time.
More sure, Pak.
For sure.
Automation. Please, we can set together again, because I think, like, I agree with Pak Said, we can talk about this digitalization in another series, part 1, part 2, part 3. This is very interesting. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Before we closing, we can take a picture together, Pak Said, Pak David, and Pak Imam. Maybe we can talk to Tom.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, once again.
Yeah, thank you.
1, 2. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you to all our. Nice
Thank
to meet
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pak Said, Pak David, all
Yeah,
attendants,
Pak
Pak
Rudi,
Rudi, thank you very much.
Welcome to the largest modern industrial estate of Southeast Asia, the Japabeka Industrial Estate, Cikarang. Our story begins in 1989 with the massive development of Cikarang, where once nobody could see its potential. Now, after 31 years, Japabeka has succeeded in developing a comprehensive one-stop industrial development solution for all types of enterprises. Today, it has become one of the most important economic zones of Indonesia. Japabeka constitutes a massive 35% of total national export volume, creating employment opportunities for around 700,000 local residents and 10,000 expatriates who live in the city. Japabeka Industrial Estate is trusted by more than 2,000 national and multinational companies from 30 countries around the globe. It is one of the most advanced industrial zones with state-of-the-art facilities and all the essentials that make industrial business possible. It has a very efficient access and transportation infrastructure that includes 4 exit and 4 access tolls, highlighting the transit-oriented development. Japabeka Industrial Estate is equipped with Industry 4.0 facilities and tools. It has fiber optics and telecommunication networks that boost the performance of the whole industrial estate. The licensing and administration process is also made convenient with one-stop digital services like our mobile app, G-Smart. Designed as an environment-friendly industrial area, it has proper waste treatment facilities that help us conserve the environment, and water treatment facilities that ensure a reliable and regular clean water supply for industrial needs, helping us avoid the need for exploiting natural water resources. Independent power plants in the Jababeka Industrial Estate guarantee the availability of continuous electricity supply. Jababeka Industrial Estate is proud of building the nation's first dry port, the Cikarang Dry Port, which has all the logistical facilities required for the complex import-export processes. Jababeka Industrial Estate is extremely secure. It has 24-hour security patrols, a fire brigade department and regional police, and army offices located within the premise of the estate. We always strive for both business and individual development. The prestigious President University and Information Communication Technology are the symbols of human development. They add value by providing qualified human resources needed for the industrial world in the Jababeka Industrial Estate. Jababeka Industrial Estate provides an ideal atmosphere and working environment for a modern industrial community that consists of commercial and retail centers, hotel, residential, healthcare facilities, and various sports facilities such as golf, swimming pools, eco parks, etc. All of these facilities ensure the smooth running of business in the Jababeka Industrial Estate, the largest and smartest industrial estate